Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name's Luke Payson, and I am honored to have back on the show Josh, the flyin Hawaiian Perreira. Josh, welcome back.
Thank you for having me again, man. Always an honor. Always an honor.
It's an absolute honor to have you on the show. For people that don't know you, hopefully they'll get to know you now because you're very talented, up and coming, now a pro. You were on the show before when you were a very high ranked prospect at the amateur. You won a couple belts. Then you had a really impressive debut win a couple months ago. Yeah, at the beginning of January of 2023, you won in the second round with a rear naked choke. And now you've got a huge fight coming up, your debut for LFA, June 16th, so just a couple weeks away. Let's pick it up from what's been going on after you won that fight, after you went from a really high-ranked amateur to a pro to a 1-0 pro. What happened from January to now? Let's pick it up there.
Just kept training. Took some time off. I went back home to Hawaii for the whole month of March. Celebrated my birthday, trained with some really good friends, Alan Liu, Joe Bird, my boy Kama over from Kailua Gracie, meeting a whole bunch of local legends as well. And just being able to pick their brains and being able to talk to them was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, just living life, man. No complaints over here.
Well, you getting to spend about a month in Hawaii is obviously fantastic. You're from Hawaii,
Yeah.
hence your fight nickname. But that name, Alan Liu, Alan, the Chinese disappointment Liu, I've seen him fight. He used to fight. I think his debut in amateur MMA was 247. He's now living out in Hawaii, so that's really exciting. Obviously, it is the land of legends. Did you get to see? Oh man, I'm trying to think the champ. Oh my, how am I blanking? The 145-pound champ. I'm really blanking on his name. This is embarrassing. What
Max
legends did you get?
Holloway.
Yeah, there you go, Max
No,
Blessed. I was thinking Blessed, Little
I
Blessed.
wasn't I wasn't able to meet him just yet. He was getting ready for his fight against Brendan Allen, I believe. That same time, Alan Liu was actually one of his main training partners, and was getting it in. But just I know I'll be able to meet him one day. I never want to interrupt anybody's
Sure.
training sessions or anything, or invite myself to anything. I always want to make sure it's all right. But I hope to meet him. He's such an inspiration to myself, and also a lot of up and coming MMA fighters out of Hawaii and the world over. So I'd love to meet him. I did get some work in with the Trinity Kings bantamweight champion and former high school classmate of mine and friend, Joe Gamebird.
Oh,
Worked with
nice.
Harris Soriento. Just a whole bunch of other legends. Being able to attend Trinity Kings as well, their fight organization out there. It was more of just me going out and relaxing and
Oh, okay.
just because it was just nonstop going. A couple fights fell through for January before my debut in January, so I just wanted to take a step back and sit out in the sun and swim in the ocean. That's about it.
Well, that's
But
good.
yeah, just
It's important to have those rest and recovery time period because you're very much a fighter. 7-1 as an amateur, 7 fight win in a row as an amateur because you dropped your first debut fight. So you're actually on an 8 fight win streak. Um, what are you looking to kind of progress to? Let's talk about debuting for LFA. It's obviously a bigger got more eyes on you at LFA. What does it mean to be fighting for LFA? They're on UFC Fight Pass. They put on great cards, great shows, and are very much known as LFA. A couple others, CFFC, and some others are known as sort of like, I would say 247 has sent somebody to UFC right from 247 and also to Bellator. So there's a few promotions out there, but what makes you excited to be fighting for LFA?
um I extremely excited because yet again, it is a large feeder for a lot of these larger organizations. So it's a way for me to get my foot in the door and more people to be exposed, to myself and my fighting style and my martial arts. But above all, I'm just excited to get out there. Uh, I'm not a trash talker. I just like to kind of like keep it to myself. But
Sure.
just want to get out there and to show the world what I got, and we'll see how far I get.
Well, I think that's a very admirable attitude. A lot of people get into trash talking. Your fighting style is very exciting, and you're now a pro, and so your career is just getting started at the pro level. It's super exciting to see what'll happen in the fight. For you, I know a lot of your fights are by submission. You have a very well-rounded game plan. Is there anything you're still kind of wanting to show as a pro, not game plan wise, but just as far as some of the well-roundedness you have?
Uh, I just want to show every single one of my fights. I see it as a snapshot of my whole martial arts career. I progressively am getting better and better and better. So by the time my opponent's in the cage with me, he has no idea what I can throw at him. But that being said, I'm I just want to show the world that no matter what, you can just if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And I want to be a well-rounded fighter, the most complete fighter that I can be, and be able to entertain the people at home and have people wanting to tune in, and I want it to, like Bruce Lee once said, I want it to, or a fight should be like a play, but played seriously. Um, Being able to show off the different ranges, the striking, to the clinch, to the ground, all flowing formless, or not formlessly necessarily, but flowing seamlessly into each other. And I'm very excited to show what I got.
Well, that is exactly why people like watching you because you are a well-rounded fighter that's been on an absolute tear, 8 fight win streak. Like I said, your opponent, his name is a bit challenging to say, but he has a Bellator fight. So you're obviously going up against somebody with a kind of that higher level fight experience. At least Tapology doesn't have his amateur record. I'm not sure if he just jumped into the pro level. He looks to be international fighter, so I'm not sure. Do you know anything about your opponent? I know you're not a trash talker, but what about your opponent makes you excited to fight him?
Yeah, Itzik Yakubov. He is from Israel. Made his pro debut for Bellator. And it was hard to find some stuff on him. Can't really find his amateur career. Either if that's due to them not or the Israeli regional scene not keeping books or anything, but he did serve in the IDF or the Israeli military as well. So they do a lot of grappling, Krav Maga, that kind of stuff. So and it's been quite some time since he's fought as well. Yet again, we've had quite a few names. One guy went to Bellator, and the other guy wasn't able to show up. So Itzik is going to be a challenge because there's nothing on him. We have no idea what he's going to bring to the table because it's been such a long
Right.
time since he's fought. Of course, yeah, of course he's been training. Of course he's been working hard. But I feel that my readiness to fight and my consistency of fighting will have me or make me ready for anything. And especially training with the guys that we have at Immortal, my friends over at Ronin, uh, my other friends over at Stout, like Lucas Siebert, and even my teammates over in Hawaii Elites, Hybrid House, Kailua Gracie, UFC BJ Penn Gym, Honolulu location, just all these different looks from all over the world, all over the United States at least, and I'm able to adapt to every single relatively to every single one of their fighting styles. So whatever it can bring to me, I will be ready. I will be ready no matter what, and my striking will be true, and my skills will be sharp.
I mean, that's why I like having you on the show, because you keep it. You remind me, and this is probably one of the highest compliments I can give. And for people that watch the show, they know that I pretty much have to refer to GSP in every interview, because he's my all-time favorite fighter. But you remind me, your interview style reminds me a lot of GSP, because he spoke very technically, very articulately, very about what he was going to do, what his opponent brought to the table, what he was looking forward to. And I think that made him a very likable and entertaining fighter. Not only was he great in the cage, but what he said was true. What he was very direct in all his answers. I think what's cool about you and your various teams and your coaching partners and trainers and all that is you, and taking Isaac, is really a guy who you're in there to show your best, because you don't know what he's going to bring. And I think that's kind of how, if you go way back into various mixed martial arts or combat, you wouldn't know what the other person was specialized in. There's an advantage to all the videos and all the breakdowns, but there's also a disadvantage, because we've seen sometimes high level fights break apart when somebody starts doing what the other person didn't expect. So what's cool about your opponent is you're going to expect him to do whatever, because you got to be prepared for whatever he might do, whether it's a more clinch game from Krav Maga, whether it's more, like you said, they tend to have a lot of grappling, or whether he's a really good striker. So I just think it's really cool that you're going in there with a guy who hasn't fought professionally in 4 years, likely due to military service. They typically have that gap in what they do because of serving in the Israeli army. So for you, you're going to be making the trip. I looked it up. It's not going to be in the tri-state area. It's out of, I think it's out of the state. I pulled it
Yeah,
up.
it's Owensboro, Kentucky. Yeah, it's a
Kentucky.
bit of a drive, and
Yeah.
I know for a fact when I'm cutting weight, I'll be feeling every single bump and a pothole in the road, and it'll feel like 10 hours versus 5. But that's as soon as I see my weight hit 125 on the scale, or even 126, since it is flyweight and that's the maximum. But
Yeah.
I'll know that in my head that I've won. The hardest part for me is always the weight cut, and I always feel that all of my training sessions are a little are scarier than most of the fights that I get into. Of course, I'm gonna, after this fight, if and when I win, um, I will be thrown into the top of the flyweight division for LFA, and I will be ready to do my best.
Yeah. Well, and you brought up the top of the flyweight division in LFA. The main event, which is kind of like, in a way, perfect. You're making your debut for LFA as a flyweight with a lot of potential, a lot of eyes on you, a lot of excitement around your skill level. But the main event is John Sweeney, who's 12-3, so a lot of fights, super talented, and Alan Bagazzo, probably butchered the last name, sorry, Alan, and he's 7-2. So you're talking two really higher level flyweights. Have you kind of taken note of that, and how much are you looking forward to watching whoever becomes the champ, because you're now going to be in LFA, and they're obviously at the top of the 125 flyweight division.
I thought that fight was at bantamweight. I thought that was for the bantamweight strap.
Oh, of course. Look at me trying to be cool.
No, but no. But I see them as fantastic competitors. I wish both of them luck. And who knows? I know I've fought at bantamweight in the past, and my last fight was at a catchweight as well. So who knows? Maybe I'll bounce. Maybe I'll bounce around. But I think flyweight is my home, and I am ready to take the division by storm. Take the division by force, if anything.
Absolutely. Well, sorry about quickly. I misread bantamweight to flyweight just because they looked smaller, and I got excited because the LFA has a lot of fighters. I absolutely believe that you're going to be there to take over the flyweight division. LFA does a great job in building fighters, obviously, and they'll get the matchups you need. And I do think we've seen it, the fight that just happened at 35 in the UFC between Triple C and Aljo, had a lot of excitement. 125 is now a weight class. I often think of Mighty Mouse and kind of the years that he was the greatest pound for pound fighter on the planet, and didn't really get a lot of excitement. And I think now people are starting to realize how exciting 125 can be. So thanks so much for taking the time out. Obviously, I hope people, they either make the drive to Kentucky. If they can't make the drive to Kentucky, LFA is always pay-per-view available. It's also usually, I think, UFC Fight Pass. I'm pretty sure they're typically on UFC
Yeah.
Fight Pass. Yes, they are right there on their poster. So for those that have UFC Fight Pass, this is an awesome opportunity to support you, but also get to kind of see what else that they offer. So I really appreciate you coming on the show and being so professional and focused. There's a lot of excitement, I'm sure, all the way from Hawaii. I know you trained in California, you've trained all over, but you're also a Pittsburgh guy. A lot of people in Pittsburgh really love what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I can't wait to see you in action and to see what happens June 16th for LFA 160. Thanks so much, Josh, the Flying Hawaiian Perreira, for coming on the show. Thank you, brother. You take care.
Thank you, Luke.
All right.
Always an honor. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You got it.